a bun, 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 ba bunderkin a bun. Bun, 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 ba bunderkin, bun, 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 ba bunderkin, bun, 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 ba bunderkin, bun. This is Speedy, the Bunder Dragon. Here comes Cat, slowly lagging. Tupper in tow, always tagging along. Vi dreams big but drops the ball. Her petite pal Pam is tough but small. Kiki loves books, she reads them all. And the twins, they brawl. In a land of wonders, both great and small. In Bunder Valley, you'll see it all. Come discover the mystery, what it means to be. A bun, 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 ba bunderkin, a bun, 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 ba bunderkin, a bun, 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 ba bunderkin, bun, 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 ba bunderkin.
I gotta say, I'm gonna stop sharing. I gotta say, I never get tired of that song. I love it. I was singing along that time. Welcome back, guys, to the dailies or the weeklies. Nice to see everybody here. Thanks for finding us. If this is your first time, welcome. This is where we talk everything Bunderkin. And Bunderkin is a world that we've been creating here at Studio Zubio in prep for a TV series, and now more recently with our announcement last week or 2 weeks ago, a video game. So just to recap, right now we're all working feverishly, I can honestly say that, on our April goal, a 5-month goal. We just started a sprint to work towards our video game. So everybody's heads down. Amanda's animating like crazy. She's just going for it. I'm suffering from a bit of a head cold, if you guys can't hear. And I've been contagioning my entire staff this whole week. But, you know, sometimes you got to come in. And, yeah, John's been working on a crazy illustration of the Kinder tree. Kind of want to, man, I wish we could show that. Should we show that just because it's hot off the presses? And then we can go into today's topic.
Sure.
I think we should. So the Kinder tree, we've already done kind of a whole YouTube video about the Kinder tree. And as we've been kind of maturing Bunderkin's design style from phase 1 to like phase 2, which is where we are now, it's required a lot more kind of detail. So the Kinder tree was always a little bit underbaked when it came to detail. We knew we wanted a big, chubby tree. And that's great and all, but when, you know, with big items, it's hard to kind of feel the grandioseness of it. Yeah, so John did this really great detail pass of the Kinder tree and like how the bark works, as you can see here. And it still has that beautiful design, so like that silhouette, the strong kind of plumpness. But towards the bottom, you can see a lot more aging of the bark as it's kind of peeled off and it's kind of exploding with life inside. It's super cool. It literally looks just like an explosion. And he's got all these little micro trees growing off, like these little symbiotic organisms growing off the side of them. Look how cool that is, and the pattern of the grain. So yeah, want to talk about it a little bit, John, before we get to today's topic?
Sure, yeah, this was, I call this a Kinder Tree 2.0, big upgrade for it. We want to really sell the immense size of it, but also like the age. So like towards these later bottoms, you have these stuff peeling off, you got all this growth coming up the sides.
Yeah, why don't you zoom in there?
Sure.
Yeah, show off your detail. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll be doing a close-up of this entrance area coming up soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, and previously also the grain of the wood used to be more horizontal, and we decided we didn't like that. We wanted to sweep it more upwards, so a little less like a beehive.
Yeah, so it looked a little too beehivey before, with kind of a 45-degree radiating ring or kind of concentric rings. Now it's a little bit more like a tree. The bark actually flows the direction of the tree.
You can barely see it, but I'm pretty sure that little faint dot right there is Beatty.
He's that big. He's tiny. I think he's probably Oh, that's an arrow. Yeah, you just drew an arrow to the little tiny flea. I love it. He's fleety. Fleety. Get it? He's a flea.
Oh yeah.
It's been a long week. It's Friday. Yeah, I love it. It looks so good.
Thanks.
Yeah, it really does. Like I think it's gonna be beautiful. The game demo that we're working on takes place at the kind of the porch of the Kindred tree, like the opening. There's a big explorative area that we're kind of encompassing to keep the player in bounds. But yeah, so we kind of needed to do a detail pass at this, and we also have a talented modeler from Portugal starting on this on Monday. So she's going to be sculpting this. I have no idea how long this is going to take her to do. Like this, I think this is honestly one of the hardest things to sculpt, something like this. As far as time consuming, it's so time consuming, and you have to have a lot of patience. And doing this while also having kind of good topology, it's hard. So, good luck,
Nice.
Raquel. You'll do great.
I'm excited to see her transform into 3D.
I don't envy working on this tree at any capacity.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it to get done because once it's done, like we have this beautiful giant. Like this thing is huge. It's like a mountain. So it'll be nice to have this asset again. This thing should be featured in every TV episode and every game and in every kind of moment of what we're doing. It's kind of the primary residence of an entire city of Bunderkin. So, and that brings us to the topic today, which is Bunderkin. So today we're going to be talking about, I don't know if we actually advertised what we're talking about, but we might have, kind of how to draw a Bunderkin and kind of like what is kind of the design rules of drawing Bunderkin, and how it's kind of slightly evolved a little bit. There's rules that we've embraced recently, and there's rules that we've kind of loosened up on, and there's rules that we've downright thrown out. So I'm going to kind of be a passive participant. I'm going to let John and Amanda here kind of discuss this, as both of them have done amazing work on the Bunderkin designs. Like we hired Amanda for her animating skills, but we quickly realized her illustrations are just so captivating and colorful and like just filled with life, and she has just a great draftsmanship, level of draftsmanship. She's just the best. So it was a no-brainer to bring her onto the design team of Bunderkin, so to give John some much needed reprieve on characters. So she's kind of filling in on a lot of that for the game, especially. She's stepping in. So yeah, take it away, John and Amanda.
Do you want me to start or?
Yeah,
John. Yeah, don't be humble. He's so nice. You guys understand? I hope that he's just, he's never going to want to just put himself out there. He wants to make sure everybody's cool with it.
I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm not a presentation person, so this is going to be very meandering and.
Yeah, just move your microphone a little closer to your mouth. That way that we can make sure that they can hear you at the back of the room.
Is this good?
Yeah. Okay. That wasn't a very convincing yeah. I know.
Okay. Okay, I guess I should start sharing the screen again. Take entire screen, Photoshop. Okay. So when I go to the design a Bunderkin character, most times the way I start, and this is usually my go-to, is I start with very small thumbnails. This helps me not focus on detail, but rather try to get find things like a good silhouette, get it kind of some ideas on paper. I'll literally start off with just some basic shapes, like, oh, is this I'll zoom in more. But I'll pick like a fat brush, so I can't get any details in it. I'll just be like, oh, is this like a tall, lanky kind of character? with like the droopy. He's got droopy ears, or is this like a larger, heavier set type of character? And this is just to sort of get. This is how I usually start my exploration of who this character is going to be. Just based on some basic things like silhouette, overall shape. And then from then on, I might start getting a little more detailed if I have something in. I think I have something in mind. And I just realized I'm drawing Tupper, a Tupperish type character.
He's got the ET head. Yeah.
There's lots of different type of head shapes we use.
Hey, John, just so you know, I'm going to drop out really quick and come back so I can start managing the comments. I came in as a guest account. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. There's a lot of head shapes we use. General rule of thumb is to keep it kind of soft and doughy. Right? So like we'll use something like this, or we might go for something on the taller end, like this. Snouts are fine. We've been exploring with snouts more recently, as long as you try to keep them on the more statter side.
And on more of the vague side as well.
Vagueness is good. I want to touch more on that later. Gotta try this. That's probably too tall. But you're trying to keep things kind of on the short, stout side, soft, and a little bit doughy. We have some rules of thumb we like to keep to with Bunderkin. I just a couple minutes ago I would give us some sketches of some do's and don'ts we have. Overall, we're wanting to avoid realistic anatomy. So we aren't looking to see kneecaps, stuff. Keep things kind of on the tubular side, smooth. One thing we have to keep an eye on is necks and shoulders. Generally, we aren't giving our characters necks, like underneath their heads, or shoulders. We always want to keep kind of tuck them in. This can be especially tricky on wider set type characters. It's easy to accidentally give them shoulders. You kind of want to tuck them in. I guess there is an exception with characters that have taller heads, like this. You kind of do get a bit of neck. That's more of like Tupper. That's more of a technicality than actually us going out of their way to give them necks. We aren't doing this with their neck.
No one has an explicit chin, I believe.
That too.
Or a jawline, I mean.
We often are keeping their faces kind of like a balloon, but like I said, we have been exploring with muzzles, like we did with BD, giving him just a little bit of a muzzle, just so his profile is more dynamic. And we've done some characters where we've kind of, if this is their head and this is the top of their chest, we give them we connect the two, and then we give them just a bit of a muzzle. We aren't I wouldn't try to this would probably that's too much. So give him a bit. Oh, Steven's back.
I am back, but I can't manage the comments today. I'm not sure why. But yeah, we don't do muzzles because it's too animal-like. So Bunderkin aren't explicitly animals. They're sorry, told you guys I'm recovering. They're not explicitly animals. They're animal themed.
Yeah.
I'm an
Yes.
old man. I got an old man cough. I inherited
Right.
my dad's old man cough. I've had it since I was 12.
So going on to animals, when we do animals, we usually pick like 1 or 2 animals, 2 if we can manage it, because then we can mix and match attributes, and like we take attributes and add them to the character, and it's more of like what's the word I used earlier? It's less that they're being the animal and more that they're suggesting the animal. And it's okay if it's a little vague, because vagueness is good. Kind of if you look at a character and you're not sure what animal it is, that's fine.
Yeah, Kiki in particular, from the get-go, was designed to be somewhat kind of like an Australian marsupial, like a wallaby or a koala, but also mixed with some type of parakeet, which is what led to her name as being Kiki, just because of that process of assigning her kind of her animal themes. You know, I think it's very similar to kind of how Pokemon kind of hints at animals, but doesn't really necessarily go all in on it. You know, there is no frogs in the Pokemon universe. There's only like Poliwags or whatever. I don't know their names. I do know their names, but not as well as I should. I'm like 10 years too old for Pokemon to some degree. Although I have many legendary Pokemon on my Pokemon Go account. Let me just make sure that's understood. Yeah, and then we have like Windsor there, who's kind of a bit of a bear or a cat mixed with bird and head, bird tail and head feathers.
So we got Kathy. He's got catties and whiskers, but you can't see from here, but his tail is kind of like a bear tail, and his build's kind of a little bear-like. And then when I drew this police officer in the bottom left, she's very bright and happy and cheery, so I give her like golden retriever ears and like an otter's tail. And then we have the Pixie and Puck twins, who are whatever.
Yeah, they're a bit of a whatever at the moment.
A bit of a whatever. But vagueness is good. That's fine.
Well, their mom dresses them in pajamas, and they kind of just go with it. So it's, I could maybe see there be an episode in the future that gets a little bit more into what's underneath those pajamas. But right now, it is what it is.
And then when it comes to clothing, the rule we keep is that clothing is more of an accessory than to character. It's like an accessory that has more to do with character design than it does have to do with necessity.
Yeah.
So we use it to tell the viewer about the character, like either what they do, their position in life, their character, personality, stuff like that. And so we usually go with like 1 or 2 items, maybe 3 sometimes, but usually 1 or 2. And then kids generally don't wear clothes. It's kind of, you can see it viewed as kind of like as the kids get older, they start to settle into what they're going to be, and then that's when they, as a kid, they're a bit more of a blank slate. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Amanda, you said it well. So the kids are running around naked, and I think you said like a lot of the their
clothing to me in particular is like more of an indicator of occupation and what they do.
Yeah.
Like on the daily.
Yeah, let's zoom in on some of these newer designs that Amanda's done. She did these like last week, and I think she did a really good job. So we got that second one in. Can you zoom in on that second one there, John?
I can bring up the whole page if you want.
Oh yeah, sure, that'd be great. Right. So these are characters that are written specifically for the Curse of the Oculi demo that we're doing, our Unreal video game, our platformer. So these are characters that are all going to be found in a festival. But I'm going to let kind of Amanda, why don't you kind of zoom in on one at a time and let Amanda talk about them, John?
Sure.
Sure. Also, keep in mind, I have much less experience drawing Bunderkin than John does, so these will be a bit tweaked when they make it into the demo. But
That's true. You always want
Yeah.
to add length to all of them. You elongate all of our Bunderkin. Yeah. Just zoom in on there nice and close. We'll kind of zoom in one at a time here. Let's go. Yeah.
So when I was sort of given this assignment, how I kind of started the approach was like, okay, I think what kind of people you see at a festival, what kind of people, what's typical of the people who work there, given a variation of occupations and guests as well. Just try to cover all bases. And I also tried to tell myself, have fun and enjoy, like, what kind of characters would you also like to actually see at a festival? What would add culture? What would add entertainment value and appeal as well? So
Yeah, I don't dictate a lot of like, hey, design a takoyaki salesman. Like, I just kind of say, look, we're at a festival. There's got to be a Bunderkin selling food. Where do you want to go with it? And this is where she went with it. So
I was given a lot of freedom, which
Yes.
was very enjoyable. Yeah. So this takoyaki salesman guy, I felt, since Bunderkin is very vaguely based off of, it has like a little bit of Eastern influence. I was like, okay, it would make sense for like an Asian kind of street vendor to be in there. But then as I started developing him, I was like, takoyaki exists and the oculi are very similar to octopus. So it would make perfect sense for him to be selling, cute little themed snacks.
Yeah,
I'm just
little
trying to,
octopus balls that are decorated to look like oculi, right?
yeah. Just trying to chill him out whenever he can. But then, of course, be tired whenever no one is looking.
And I didn't
Oh.
realize that those were bunny ears. Like, I didn't think, because you told me that
Yeah.
today. I think you said actually he has bunny ears, and I was like, I didn't even notice those, because I thought he was kind of an otter, like an otter themed Bunderkin. But I was wrong. But maybe not, because Amanda kind of liked that idea. So I don't know.
Yeah, that would make more sense. But
Because he's eating like seafood. Is that what you mean?
yeah, purely that. It's not like it does really matter much to a degree.
I really like his splotchy kind of Asian teen kid beard. Like, he has they're not, my beard's kind of special. We can all agree. Let's be honest. But many, it's just, it's kind of a trope, I guess, right? You're tapping into some kind of. That's how I interpret it anyway. But maybe you can.
Well, also just the fact that, Asian facial hair genetics, they are always a bit sparse.
Yes,
I can say that, by the way, guys. I'm not trying to be.
No, it's a fact. We're all friends here. Yes, I love him. Honestly, I think he's just hilarious, and I can't wait to see him in the game. And what's he doing with his other hand? He's holding up holding
He
up
is fanning.
Yeah, he's fanning
Yes.
the fumes, the aromas. I love it. Let's
So
go.
what I really like what you did here, a big part of character design and selling that character is gesture and expression. Really show the personality, and that really comes off strong here. But I really
There's a comment from Bam Bam Wah. It makes sense that Bunderkin aren't really animals. I don't know why that makes sense to Bam Bam Wah, but there it is. That's a good comment. Yeah, I don't know how it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me sometimes, but. And then there's a comment, if you go up about 8 from there, History of Common Knowledge asks, can some Bunderkin fly? And the answer to that is, I think, a resounding no. Bunderkin are definitely grounded.
We have a Bunderkin that have like some bird attributes, like
Yes.
like a tail, like Witzer has tail feathers, and
Yes.
his hair resembles feathers, but we don't have anyone that has like wings. So just answer that.
Right. Let's go up from here to the guy above. There's some comments here as well. TD8690 right above can some Bunderkin fly says, can bat Bunderkin spotted? I don't know if that's the intention here. I actually was going to ask you about this.
Oh, he's 1000% bat inspired. Try to keep it vague, but
Yeah. I think I would say he's bat and spider. I don't know if I would say he's a bat themed Bunderkin per se. Like I think there's a little bit of it's because of his costuming as well, right?
Yeah.
So, and the festival that the game takes place on is this eclipsed, like this. It's like a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse actually that happens every 30 years. So he's themed just like I think he's just kind of themed as the aura of of the night festival, which
So that's true. He was also specifically inspired by like, you know, if you've been to like Disneyland during October, there's like little performers that are like required to scare people every now and then.
right.
That is particularly what I was pulling from there. But of
Does
course
he,
made him festival themed.
I think he talks. He's not a mime. He's He's going to be a performer.
Yeah.
So he's
He definitely talks. He's
Yeah.
very dramatic.
I'm hoping we can get some like smoke effects as well, like some like purple magic kind of just as he opens his night sky under wings. I love it. He's hilarious. I never thought of something like this. This is 100% Amanda. So I think you just did so fantastic with that. I just chuckled a few times when I saw it. Like, he is a little tall. He's a little skinny for my taste. At the same time, I like him because he seems really like elegant, like a kind of like he would be a good dancer, you know. So there is something to be said about some of the height. I think we just got to knock him down slightly on his torso. Long legs, short torso, kind of. I think would be a better fit for our little world.
Yeah, I get some Phantom of the Opera vibes from him.
Yes, Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. And also because we have everybody asks so many questions. Like friends I know that are starting to watch our Instagram and our posts, they're starting to realize like what the nature of my job is now, and they're kind of like, "You're really going for it now, right? Like it seems like you're out. This world's getting kind of deep." I'm like, "Yeah, there's a lot here," but yeah, this guy in particular. Really is just the encapsulation of like how much we have going on with the story of the game, which, not only is is the world of Bunderkin fictitious, or Bunderkin itself is of a complete fiction, product of fiction. There's a festival that's completely fictitious, and then there's characters within that festival and themes in that festival that we have to kind of lore dump on in this first act of the demo, so everybody can get oriented. Yes, this is a fictional world. It's not as kind of you look at it for 5 seconds and you kind of get it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you see a game and you're like, oh, it's a little witch and she's delivering packages. I get it. Like this is like, wait, what? Like what is this animal? Why is he dressed like this? What's this festival? What's going on with this moon? What's going on with these masks? Why does everybody in town hate this little green kid? Like, there's all these kind of questions of like, and hopefully we got to orient everybody really quickly in this demo to all of these themes that are kind of intertwining, because this is our first product. So people have to kind of be on board and get caught up really quick. This character is going to be, I think, very helpful for that. That's what I'm trying to say, because he gets to really just lore dump about the beauty of the eclipse and the whole kind of essence of the foundation of the festival and its traditions, and do it in a very comical way and a very kind of stylized, like abstract way. But I think time-wise, it's going to be extremely effective as far as describing what's going on. So anyway, good stuff on him, Amanda. Wow.
Do you want to look at this lady?
Oh, she's chopped off.
Yeah, let's jump down to let's do the paint. Yeah, the face painter. Yeah, this is kind of another Amanda-ism, is she likes to shrink the feet to practically non-existent.
Yeah, I figured that was a bit too small, but.
Oh, I like them. I mean, they're kind of. I think if you saw with Lucas, we already actually have a 3D model of this character.
I have.
And she made them a little bigger, but still they're tiny. I think it fits.
I added the tiny feet in particular because when you taper something off, you kind of sort of interpret that as like feminine. Not to say you
No,
can't
yeah,
apply
oh,
that
yeah,
anywhere,
no,
but
yeah.
yeah. Even though typical Bunderkin, they always got like the opposite going on.
Yeah, a lot of them have kind of stumpy feet typically. And Vi's actually I think she's kind of elegant compared to some of our other characters in regards to her dimensions. She has a little bit longer torso, skinnier arms, longer legs. But yeah, she doesn't have like tapering to nothing feet. So I think it's also fun because she's a face painter. So her face is a much bigger asset than her feet. I love it. Let's go up a little bit, John, to the crowd of kids. I kind of want to. These guys are hilarious. Yeah, where are you going with this? Like, what are we seeing here? So we have enough kids. We have enough kids in this show,
Yep.
but at the same time, we need extras kids. These are extras kids.
Yep. So I was pulling particularly, well, not only was I given like instructions, okay, you gotta make some kids. I was pulling from like 80s tropes, just sort of typical. A bunch of kids at like a spooky place. They're trying to dare the dweeb to go do something that you wouldn't particularly do. They're being all like, oh, what are you, too chicken? Go get a mask, because everyone else has got a mask on. But of course, the scared little guy doesn't want to do that. So I just had a little narrative for them built and kind of plop them all down, characterize them accordingly.
Masks are a weird concept when you're young, like you see someone wearing a mask and you're not happy about it. You put on the mask and it's not comfortable. And it's a whole concept that's kind of abstract. Like, I'm going to hide who I am to some degree. So let's go with that. I love that new comment that came in from Bam Bam Wah again. They're referring to, actually, this goes back to a comment. Let's see, it's by Sophia Roleplay. Why do Bunderkin hate BD? He ain't hurting nobody, and I get the property mess. Okay, they are a little lanky. Yeah. Actually, no. I think I switched. Did I switch? Yeah, I did. I switched. I totally switched because they got scrolled. Sorry, I didn't get to read the last of the comment because we just got a bunch of comments. Sorry. So yeah, then everybody's talking about why everybody hates BD, and everybody does not like BD because of a little. It's definitely a Naruto-esque situation where there's a kid in town that has a lot of baggage because of belief systems inside their society, and because he was born as a rare Bunder Dragon, which is a rare brand of Bunderkin. That's a kind of a rare occurrence. There hasn't been a Bunder Dragon in hundreds of years per se. So he has all this kind of built-in bias because he seemed to be a bit of a, to the town founders of Bunder Hollow, he's considered a bit of a Judas, like a bit of a Loki kind of Judas figure of someone that made wrong to the original founders, and thus over time it's become a bit of a metaphor for, like, a Bunder Dragon is a metaphor for being a menace or being a betrayer or being dishonest or being bad luck, just a bad omen in general. So you have this bad omen walking around town, and kids tease him, and adults shun him. But ironically, he doesn't play this kind of victimizing platitude. There's no victimization with his personality. He's actually the perfect personality to have that type of situation be thrust upon him, because he's just super tough-skinned. So he doesn't really let any people's thoughts of him tarnish his goals or tarnish his own self-perception, right? So I think inherently it's a healthy kind of character for kids to latch onto, because there's always going to be people that are putting you down or keeping you down. And you got to, at some point you realize that, what, it's not about what people think, it's about who you are. So, but he takes it a little further than that, because he can be a little bit of an a-hole, right? So he does push back in the opposite direction and leans into a lot of those perceptions. Anyway, we've talked about this before, but I just love to make sure for the new followers that are finding our channel, they understand kind of that aspect of him. Sorry.
I've never watched Naruto before, so
Me neither. I've never seen a
dark.
single episode. I feel like we're fresh because I someone actually mentioned that to me, like Naruto. This is like Naruto. I was like, is it? Would I like Naruto? They're like, no, you wouldn't. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep moving on. But anyway, and then the little balloon salesman as well. Let's go down to him. Again, all of these are kind of Amanda's take. A little bit to the left, the balloon salesman on the left.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love this guy. Just kind of a grandpa-like figure, right?
Yep. Mr. Fredrickson.
You got the little Mr. Frederick. Yeah, you got the little oculi, the little jellyfish squid balloons that ties into the iconography of the festival. Super fun. Yeah, it's perfect. And also, we've already written this into a bit of the tutorialisms of the game demo, because BD does have a slingshot in the demo. That's our plan. So he will wreak havoc on the sky's balloons. That is just going to be happening. Or you as the player will do so. Or choose not to. Maybe you want to pick the higher road. I don't know. Anyway, this is a solid page of character designs. And I like how you bent and didn't break the rules. But I think you bent them in a way that it needed to go, Amanda. So I think kudos to you.
I'm glad you like them.
I love them. Yeah, John and I were high-fiving when we got these in.
It was great.
Yeah. Here comes the cough, guys. Let's move on, John. Sorry.
Okay. It's been about almost 40 minutes. You want to keep going, or? Hello?
Oh, Stephen, did you hear John's question?
Sorry, I was muted because I was still coughing. No,
it's been about 35 minutes. You want to keep going with another page?
Yes. We'll just kind of breeze through this.
Okay.
Yeah. Playful designs, curvy, not too animal-like, clothing that kind of matches occupation or at least theme. These are all the design foundation cornerstones of Bunderkin. This is a page by John. Again, for the game, just kind of digging into some of the characters that it's a very NPC heavy game. I don't want to necessarily promise a certain number of characters, but we're planning on 25 characters in this demo. And I think only a little group like Studio Zubia, who specializes in character animation and character design, can pull this off in this short of time with such a small team. So wish us luck, but we just really want there to be a lot of character energy, right? And we got a pumpkin carver in the top right, two wagon repair guys that seem pretty incompetent. Then there's some children as well for different purposing. A lot of these kids have to do with a lot of the onboarding of the player to the game to learn the controls. So I like the merch vendor in the bottom middle with his little gap in his tooth. In fact, when I saw that, I told John I think we want to add that to Puck, to have him have a bit of a missing tooth on one side, because it's kind of gives him a little bit more of a schmecker, a shyster-like attitude. Looks a little bit like a deviant.
Yeah, I was trying to go with like a bit of an Honest John from vibe.
Let me tell you how it is, kid.
Yeah.
They don't like you, kid. You're green and you're ugly. You don't got it.
Yeah.
And this lady, I mean, I just gotta say, she's adorable. I mean, come on, like, who wouldn't want her as a neighbor? Let me just say that right now. You know, she's just. I like how she's got her spoon ready to go. Who knows what she's been up to? Love it.
Yeah. This bottom row, I really liked how they came out. So some of them, I was like, these need more work with these three at the bottom. Okay.
Yeah, no, I love them.
This was like a day of just doing a bunch of potential NPCs.
Yeah.
And some were misses, but this bottom row felt like hits.
Hey, look! For some reason now, Barnabas, I can now show these. It just came up. That's so weird. Snack Vendor is really pretty. Yeah, she is pretty. History of Common Knowledge says, I personally don't think Beatty's a bully kind of character. He's mean, yes, but not someone who would hurt people. You know what? I think you're going to be surprised slightly. I think Beatty. Everybody makes mistakes sometimes, man. I've said it many times. Like the trial of Beatty as a character is to really walk the line between the audience just liking him just enough, like, oh, he makes all these bad mistakes and he does all these things that I wish he didn't do, but deep down I know he can choose better in the future. So it's one of those characters where you're rooting for him, but then also he's kind of constantly disappointing you for a little bit. So especially as we get him on board in the show and as we kind of sculpt him to be where he's where his character arc's going to take him, but you can't have a character arc unless you have a flawed character, or a character that has to make tough choices. Love it. The Snack Vendor is my favorite of those three, to be honest. I love her. I think she's adorable.
Yeah.
Racism in Bunderkin is confirmed. There's no racism in Bunderkin. Oh my goodness. It's it's racism's a form of I guess a form of prejudice, right? So I think what we're dialing in with BD is a sense of prejudiceness, and I honestly understand definitely why people would allocate that towards racism, because obviously that's also a form of prejudice. But I think we're going to be more about the universal exclusion that anybody can experience. But yes, obviously the history of our world, there's been races that have been excluded from certain things. Ooh, why am I laughing? Here we go. Keep going, John. Is this it? No.
Let's do another page. This page, I think I might have showed this before. This page has some experiment. I think it's a good example of some experimentation we did that not all of them hit. We're like, oh, this is too far.
Right. Yes. A few of these I love so much, and a few of them I'm like not so much. Should we play a game? Let's play this game that's completely arbitrary. And did Steve like it? Let's play that. Let's play this game. Starting from the top left. Let's do it. Yeah, top left. Yeah. Did it make the cut? Top left. Let's start from the top left. Here we go. Zoom in here. What do you guys think? What's the votes here, guys? Did Steve like this character? Amanda, what do you think?
Well, I know which turned into models and which didn't. So
that's true.
Yeah.
But no, History of Common Knowledge says no, too lanky. That's an interesting theory. I think that's something to be said there. That's an educated guess. This one I did like, yes, because I liked how I liked her facial expression. I liked that she felt really like kind of snobby, and she felt kind of like just like a kind of a meaner granny character. Not a sweet granny, but kind of like someone's pissed off aunt that has something to say about everything. And that's having those kind of characters in the show and in the game will help, again, BD kind of feel somewhat victimized, right? Because they seem like big jerks. So let's go to number 2. John, do you remember it was number 2?
Yeah. She is a bit on the tall side, and part of that's because she has some llama in her.
A little llama with a bit of a foxtail.
As far as like maximum height, if you've seen Marvin Kip, Kip is the llama guy who's part llama, part cat. He's about as tall as an adult gets, which is about what her height is, I believe.
Will the show be an indie show? And I love your profile pic. I feel like you should already know the answer to this because you have a profile pic on YouTube that matches our show. The answer is yes, it will be an indie show and an indie game. as in that we are not funded by any large corporations. So we are on our own. Number 3, yeah. Number 2. What do you guys think? Is number 2? Does he get the cut? Does he make the cut?
Should we switch between?
What do you guys think? Anybody? I'm looking to you, fans, people that are watching the stream. What do you guys think? Number 2 here, this goat guy. He's got a weird goat guy. A goat in a coat. There we go. No thoughts on this. John, do you remember? Did he make the cut?
I didn't like this character either.
Yeah, he sucks. Yeah.
I was trying to go for some sort of like, I don't know, back.
Yeah. I like the mouth on the snout kind of thing, but it's yeah, he's too animal-like, I think, a little bit. Yeah, let's cut him. Number 3.
So this is a character that I loved, but I totally get why we aren't doing it. Like,
Okay, way to spoil the ending. Yeah,
Sorry.
so the theme of this character we want the crazy dentist that seems like you should not let him into your mouth. So as a character trope, we want him. You know, a bit of that Steve Martin from Little Shop of Horrors. You know, like a little bit of crazy Dr. Nick from Simpsons, but a dentist. Love it. And the fact that he has a bit of a crocodileness to him. All of these things we're trying to find the design on. We should actually probably unleash Amanda on this guy.
that'd be great.
But yes, he did not make the cut in his current form. No red X for him, John?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you had 2 jobs.
Touche.
Okay, now we got this Beaver Bill guy. We have a good question here. How many people work for Bunderkin? Well, nobody works for Bunderkin. People work for Studio Zubio, who are creating Bunderkin. And right now, man, so far, I don't know, like a few months ago, it was like 6 or 4, and now it's like 15 as we started to ramp up for the game. So as the game kind of became our primary goal, we hired a bunch of new guys. So we got a bunch of new people from around the world, and mostly here in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah, joining the team. So there's about 15 of us right now. So it's fun. This guy I didn't like either. I didn't like how his face. I like him. It doesn't fit. It's not done. It's not done. I don't know where it's going. I like how he looks like he cares about quantities of things, but I don't know. I don't know what he is. I think he could fit. I just don't know what he is yet. You know what I mean? Also, we don't know how to do that face in 3D. So I'll tell you that right now. That's also
This was an example of you trying to push face shapes so they weren't all just balloons, but like, and this felt like it was too far.
Yeah. What about this next guy? This guy seems like a bit of a flasher. Let's be honest. Like,
I'm just realizing that now.
Amanda, what do you think on this one? Yes or no?
Well, there's some parts of him that I feel would work.
Yeah.
I feel like he was a no, though.
I actually think he's a yes. He's a yes. I think he needs some tweaking still, but I like how he's hard on his luck, and he's a bit of a loser. Sorry, mister, we just labeled you as a loser. We know nothing about you. You were born into this world and labeled a loser. But yes, he just seems kind of like a typical Bunder dude walking around town. Let's go to the next one. What is she? This,
I believe you're correct. I think I remember thinking this guy would be someone who leaves the tavern out in the middle of the rain. And
yeah, exactly. He's a little bit of he's a drinker. He likes the ale, the Bunder brew.
Good.
What about this next one? This foxy lady. What do you guys think? I'm going to go back to Amanda. We'll speed this up a little bit. Amanda, what do you think?
The thing is, personally, I do really like her. That nose makes me feel like this is too explicit.
Yeah. What doesn't fit with her? Yeah, the nose. Right?
Yeah, nose. Yep.
Yeah, the snout's a little too animalistic with its sharp angles. I do think there's probably room to make an adaptation for her. I kind of like where you went with your fashionista characters, honestly, a little taller, make her a little more elegant. She looks a little boring to me, a little bit like vanilla milk toast, halfway of everything. This next guy, he's interesting. This is going to be a weird one. What do you guys think on this next guy? Does he make the cut?
This was an experiment on having almost no head.
Yeah, no head. Is he like a frog, right?
Yeah.
He's a no for me. He's just too abstract. He doesn't, putting BD beside him doesn't really fit. Like, is he a short guy? Is he a big guy? Is BD, is this guy huge? Is he 6 feet tall? Like, he's just massive, or is he a bit of a tiny short guy? It doesn't work. That's the other thing, is everybody has to kind of coexist alongside BD and Kathy, and it's hard to do that on some of these. Let's go to the next page. The next guys. I'm gonna speed through these if you guys don't mind. So we got no on the first guy. He's just too much of a sleepy raccoon. But what about this next guy? What do you guys think about him? Yeah, he's definitely a yes, because he has no real animalistic aspect. There's a certain Muppetness to him, that's really fun. But also, like, you could see maybe he's a walrus, maybe he's some kind of I don't know. He's like a thumb head, but he just kind of works. In this world, he just works. This next one, actually, I like her a lot, and she was a yes as well. I 3D modeled her pretty quickly, and again, it's that kind of that feministic arrogance of an older generation that she has. I think we added pearls to her too. She's slightly more affluent than the average Bunderkin. She's a little bit eccentric. She's kind of a Miss Patty from Gilmore Girls. If you guys watch that show. Yeah. Next guy as well. He's this guy. What do you think on this one? Anybody out there? Toon Dreamer Productions. What do you think? Does this next guy here? Is he making the cut? Sour Simon, what do you think? Big Z, what do you guys think? This guy with the cane, is he making the cut?
I'm flipping back and forth between the red and the green. Which one is it?
Yeah, which one is it? Which one is it?
To me, it feels like his face is a bit too out of style.
I think that's totally fair. So with him, I think the goal where we want to go with him is that he feels like almost super old, like ancient old, like he's like kind of like older than dirt, like, so his eyes have kind of sunken in, or his eyes have clouded to the point where his vision's poor. So he's a yes, and it's weird that he's a yes, but he is. He's in the pilot too as a townsperson that BD walks by, and yeah, it's just. I think I was really happy to also see how the Toon Shader would handle all of that crazy kind of the spikeage on his face. I don't think we're quite there with him yet. The design still slight tweaks on it, but he's a yes. What about the next guy? This guy, I think everybody's probably seen him already. He's a yes. He's got those little cactus tufts on the side, a little patch of eye. Seems like a no nonsense guy. Kind of a blue-collar worker. What about this next little granny lady? What do you guys think of her? I think she's a no, but that's just me. I haven't really come to. I'm kind of undecided. But I don't love her, to be honest. I like the beak because Kiki has a beak, so we need more characters with beaks. But I just don't like her for some reason. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. So, okay, the guy on the left, I actually really like him, but I told John when he did the guy on the left that he's kind of like, he's a character that you have to give a name to someone like that, you know what I mean? So, I think didn't we spawn an entire kind of episode or some kind of trope around this guy?
Yeah, we wanted someone who would be called out of retirement to be in charge of the police.
Yes, that's what it is. That's right. So as the mayor's mishandling the police force of Bunder Hollow, things get kind of nuts. We have an episode where this old, gruff retiree cop comes back into play to deal with Beatty and his team's crazy antics in town. And he's kind of a no-nonsense guy who really tries to whip all of these moronic cops back into shape. Yeah, he's pretty great. It's kind of that like a ex-military background, something like that. These guys were all four of these guys were yeses. Although I don't know how we're going to do that. The first guy, that little guy who
This guy posted a challenge with his
yeah. It's tricky. Getting those eyes. It's an illusion. And I was telling John about this, like zoom in on that guy on the left there so we can know what we're talking about. So Hilda does the crow in Hilda has a face like this, and I love him. And the trick to it is that far eye, the screen right eye that's on the far side of his head. You kind of have to plot it like his face was just a normal round head. You could draw like a dotted line where his chin would be if it was just a normal red head. But you have to kind of ignore the fact that he has this like beak. So you have to kind of plot the eye. The eye would stay where it is, John.
Right, I'm just saying that it's on the other side, but like you're seeing through it. Yeah,
exactly. It's like you're seeing through the head. So that's kind of the rendering trick we have to solve to do that in 3D. I have a test where I got close, but it still wasn't perfect. Next guy I loved as well. He's just like, again, a low motivated policeman who doesn't really care. Then we got the owl bear, the owl raccoon cop who's a rookie on the force. He was a yes. And then this guy has his helmet stuck on his head permanently is a yes. The frog chef is also a yes. This last lady, I don't like her. I don't know what she is. She's too much of a kind of like a. I think she's too. I think it's her cheekbones and her neck. There's a lot of things about that I just don't like.
Yeah, it was first time trying out cheekbones, like prominent cheekbones.
Those are cheekbones?
Well, I don't know. Or did you think? What did you think they were?
I thought that was like her hair was covering it, and like her face was just round.
Oh, now that you say that, I kind of like that better.
And also, she's got like we're doing like it's getting to the whole. We try to avoid that kind of neck thing going on. There's something she's breaking.
Is this our last page, John? Can I share screen really quick, or do we?
Sure,
have
go ahead.
Actually, why don't you show? Do you have that render in your Perforce that you can show of all the characters we've modeled?
Yes, I believe I have the latest version.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Show that.
Pull it up here. It's still a work in progress. There's the stream. Let's share it.
Share it. Now is the moment.
Which
People are leaving. Nobody's leaving.
Is it sharing?
No, you failed completely. There it is.
There
now
it
it is. Right. Yeah. So this is kind of, not all of these are necessarily final. This one's actually an older version.
It is.
Yeah, the renders on some of their faces is busted. Let me. I'll actually bring this up, John, if that's okay.
Okay.
I sent one to Raluca recently, so with all the names on it. Here we go. Share. If you look at some of the faces, they're crunched in the middle of that image there. Let's see. Screen, window. Here we go. Yeah, because we've done all these models, so we're getting to the point where we've modeled so many characters that we have some, we have a good library of starting, pieces like ears and mustaches and body forms. So I kind of came up with this. I labeled this so people would have a chart, so we could get a little bit of these guys have names, as you guys know, so they're not old man, old 2, old man 3, old man 1, but their file structure in the drive is in our folders is they're still called that, so I didn't update them. But you got Bobati Yoga, who's adorable. Her hair looks so fantastic in this. I love it. Boyle also, I'm not done with him. He looks he doesn't look salamander enough yet. He looks like kind of boring from the front, so I got to fix him to give him a little bit more of a head. You got the New Dimension Windsor, and you got this geezer guy. He's great. You got Miss Cindy Cinderbun. You got all these policemen, and you got Humble Bumble, and you got Puck and Kiki. So as I think we're seeing a lot of great fan art come in on the Discord, and I see a lot of people able to kind of mimic our recipe for the rendering in 2D, which is fun. Like, everybody's kind of digging into the solid colors and then adding like the fun kind of rim lights and the shadows, and
I've been pretty impressed.
yeah.
So much fan art, and a lot of people seem to be really tapping into the style.
Yes. Crazy Carl. I don't know why he's what he is, but he's there. Yeah, so we have a little bit of and some of these names are kind of just working names. I don't know. We got some of these. She's naked at the moment. She needs a little bit of clothes. The problem with these is as I kind of modeled them, Amanda, they ended up just looking kind of like a harem. Like,
I remember that comment.
Yeah, they look a little harem-y, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, it's a crazy world. Yeah, so this guy, I still feel like he has a little bit more to go, but this is kind of where he's at with his rendering. I'm going to also show in my screen share. Let's do this one more time, and then we'll call it a good. I got this guy brewing. So this is a new model from Pamela in Costa Rica. She's working for us. I interviewed her like last week, and we hired her that same week. And she had a lot of great 3D modeling experience. And this is kind of a first pass at this kind of cultist. We're calling him like an oculite cultist. And yeah, you can kind of see what our strategy is for kind of 3D-ifying some of the faces. The 3D model is really basic, and you have like these little tufts that kind of just jut into his head. And the advantage to doing those is you can, we're going to be able to change his like ankles a lot, just kind of by rotating these and stuff. So it gives us a lot of expressiveness with this toon shader, just jutting forms into the mesh directly like this. But yeah, he's got his awesome robes as well, and yeah, he's fantastic. But he's hot off the presses. I'm going to rig him tonight, and we'll try to get him in the game engine tomorrow with a pose. So yeah, very fun. Oh wait, you guys aren't seeing the whole thing this whole time. I failed you guys. I needed to do entire screen. I was showing you guys something interesting, and only one window was coming in. Look at this. This is how awful was that? There we go. You guys were supposed to be seeing that this whole time. My bad. Sorry, viewers at home. This is like, you get what you pay for. Our show's free. Yeah. So yeah, I was doing this, making it look kind of fun, and it was. I was seeing it, and it looked really good, but then nobody else in the world was seeing it, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so he'll have like mustache controls to wiggle his mustache. And then you've got our proprietary face system for Bunderkin animation, where you can like, rotate their mouths around. And this is kind of what makes things super fun, is this ability to kind of get fun posing. A little asymmetry like that goes a long way too, just to make him look a little bit goofier.
And the benefit of this kind of rigging is that you're not defined by your topology. Instead, you are defined by just how far you can put things on the face. That's
true. Exactly that. So it's a little bit more of a 2D approach. It's not necessarily easy to animate. Like, I think it's still a little bit, the culture. I tried my best with the control scheme to make it intuitive, but it's still a little bit. Yeah. And we also got like every character can have a different kind of face. Like, if for characters that have a face texture system, like Kathy, who has a circle on his face, we have this type of you can like use these to make a different kind of character, like a little bit of a face patterning, which is fun. And then we also have like an emotional. We don't use this that often. I don't think you've ever used it that often yet. different types. Yeah, this isn't coming in the right place, but you can see like we can bring in decals and lay out those decals on their face as well. These ones are supposed to be like rosy cheeks, so those would be up here. We make them a little redder, less pink. He'd look a little tipsy, which might be what we do with him in the game. As you're talking to him, he might look a little like he's partied hard this festival. He's ready to roll. Yeah, we also do like solid colors again, even on the clothing and things. We might get a little bit more detailed on the clothing, but for now we're kind of just keeping it. We block in the bright colors. I would support a Kickstarter of this show. Well, Derpsick, do I have good news for you? Yeah, so this April, again, let's close with this. This April, we're going to be launching a Kickstarter for a Bunderkin video game. It's a platformer game. It's the style of a tune-shaded style of Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, with a kind of a time jumping mechanism like in Majora's Mask, where you can fast travel back and forth all through the 3 days of the ocular eclipse. So that's kind of a bit of I don't know if I've mentioned that in the live stream before, but yeah, on day one, yeah, that's kind of the major mechanic of the game, is manipulating your village and trying to save the world while your townspeople actually don't like you and they don't want you around. But as BD, you're going through and trying to save your hometown of a bunch of ingrates that shouldn't be saved, don't deserve to be saved, but you're going to help them anyway because that's what good people do. Yeah, so we're making a lot of progress on this, and I think we're going to have more game footage to show you on our Instagram and also on YouTube. I think a lot of our live streams here are going to skew more towards game development going forward. But yeah, this has been a treat having Amanda and John with us today. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. The downside of doing these on Fridays, we're so tired. Like, we're all just kind of beat, and it's been a long week, and we're all eager for tomorrow, Saturday. So sorry if we come across as low energy, but it's just part of the gig of being a professional artist. It's not always the most glamorous of experiences.
Glamorous, yeah.
Anyway, thanks so much, John. Thanks so much, Amanda. Thanks to Barnabas for running our live stream, and peace out from Bunderkin.
Thanks for coming.